Good morning. I want to cover another four sections or chapters in my treatise that I call Thus Spake Christopher, sort of loosely modeled after Thus Spake Zarathustra. And once again, it's my treatise on non-duality in theory and practice, and it's sort of an ethical will of wisdom I've accumulated, and it talks about how I live my life and perceive reality. So let me see if I can share my screen. And I just need to take care of a couple of housekeeping details here before I'm ready to start. And it looks like I'm ready. Okay, so once again, you can go to my webpage, www.docbenton.com, go down to the best of Doc Benton, and here's where you find Thus Spake Christopher. And as I've said before, there are a lot of footnotes. Most of them are to Jewish texts and literature. And if you want to dive deep into all those footnotes, you can find all those texts here at a free website called Safaria. Okay, now let's continue. Chapter 37. The man then asked, "Do you experience pain?" I began to answer, "Of course I experience pain. While I am in the body, I'm still subject to all that the body is designed to experience, including pain, pleasure, joy, and fear. However, the difference between me and many other people is that my focus is more on the awareness that perceives these things rather than the perception itself. In practical terms, has put some distance between me and the perception so that I don't get as caught up in it as others might. In other words, it's more like how most people would feel when they watch something on TV. Whatever they are watching may evoke pleasure or make them wince with pain. But either way, they know that their true identity is different from what they are watching. My experience these days of what we think of as external reality is somewhat like that. Thus, for example, if I have an abscessed tooth, it is incredibly painful. But since I know that the pain is only a perception, I focus even more strongly on the awareness that is having the perception, and that puts more distance between me and the pain and makes it more bearable. When the outward perceptions are joyful, I enjoy them. But when the outward perceptions are darker, I move more deeply within to the awareness that is the source of all. Furthermore, we all occasionally experience dark nights of the soul, where it is difficult to see the way forward. And those are times when it is valuable to have good habits and behaviors to fall back upon, as they can help us navigate even if we are feeling blind. But even during those moments, awareness is still there for us to focus on. And as we shift our awareness back upon awareness itself, the darkness begins to abate. Sometimes I actually want to be tested by a little adversity to see if I have fully developed the ability to hold on to my center. However, whether it is pain or pleasure, I do not wish to get too attached to either, since neither is my true identity. Instead, I want to firmly grasp and hold on to the source of life within. Thus spake Christopher. Chapter 38. The man asked, "Shouldn't one become attached to joy?" I began to answer, "You should cultivate joy because that increases the likelihood that you will arrive at a correct understanding of reality. It is more difficult to achieve such enlightenment when you are in pain. Nonetheless, you do not want to become overly attached to any pleasure because you will then make lack of pleasure the enemy, and you will always be in fear of losing joy. Instead, rejoice in the beauty of the moment when times are joyful, and accept the challenge to remain established in your center when times are more difficult. Just as a test and a subject in school can reveal to you what your current weaknesses are, your response to difficult times can reveal to you what you still have to learn. Thus spake Christopher. Chapter 39. The man asked, "What do you think of organized religion?" I began to answer, "Organized religion has brought both great good and great evil to humankind. On the one hand, it has promoted positive behaviors such as love and charity and justice. But on the other hand, so many evils have been per- perpetrated in the name of religion. In the Book of Learning, the ancient sages noted that if one uses the Book of Instruction in the right way, then it is a tree of life. But if they use it in the wrong way, then it becomes a deadly poison. It also says in the Book of Instruction that one should not follow the multitude to do evil. My corollary to this is as follows: never let religion get in the way of doing what's right. Organized religion is like eating a delicious piece of fruit that has a tough skin. You have to swallow the good parts and spit out the inedible parts. And within each religion, I find both good parts and inedible parts. For instance, many of the old religions promote loving the stranger and taking care of the orphan and the widow, while at the same time also promoting slavery and misogyny. The writings of the old religions often come from several sources, despite what their followers believe, and I accept the best of what those sources have to say and reject the rest. Furthermore, in this day and time, we are too often seeing some of the worst of what organized religion has to offer, and thus, for many, it may be better to now follow your own path, just so long as it is a path that leads to greater love and unity, and not to hate and destruction. Thus spake Christopher. Chapter 40. The man then asked, "What happens after we die?" I began to answer, "Do the living know the dead? Do the dead know the living? Not that we can say for certain. Like many, I often sense the presence of those who have passed on and commune with them, but I can't say for certain whether my perceptions are real or just comforting thoughts in my head. Life after death is not something that has been scientifically verified. But on the other hand, if we restrict our world only to what has been currently verified by science, then our world becomes uncomfortably small. Thus, there are many things I believe that are still awaiting scientific verification. I also believe that information, once exists, cannot be destroyed. And I believe that awareness is a fundamental property of the multiverse. Hence, it is not inconceivable to me that even after we die, that our past information can still be read by awareness. And this can result in an identity that endures beyond this lifetime and that can still evolve. I further believe that after death that we gravitate to whatever level or environment that we feel most in tune with. For some, this may be a beautiful meadow with perfect weather, while others may find themselves with beings consisting of just light and color that easily blend and combine with other identities. In between those two images are a virtually unlimited number of other possibilities, too many to enumerate here, and some will even create a hellish existence for themselves that is forged out of their own hate. But yes, I do believe in life after death because the presence of the departed is what I experience. I personally have scant evidence to prove that my beliefs about what happens after we die are correct, but nonetheless, it is in many ways irrelevant whether my beliefs in this area are correct or not. All that really matters is how we deal with the life that we have right now. Hence, find heaven within and find joy in your life right now in the present moment, because that is all we ever have. Thus spake Christopher. Okay, that concludes the 4 sections I wanted to cover today. So let me stop sharing my screen. And I'm back. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you come back. I hope to see you again. And I hope you come back to listen to me again and that you're enjoying this series of short little videos. And for now, I'll just say so long and be well.